clear. Coming through Geocache Talk, a voice on the line I hear. Coming through Geocache Talk.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Announcing the Cache Odyssey GeoCoin, a tribute to exploration, accessibility, and the journey we share as a global geocaching community. Each coin represents your support and participation in the Cache Odyssey project and Geo Tours, a nationwide effort to create handicap-accessible geocaches and ensure that everyone can experience the joy of the hunt. With stunning artwork, the Cache Odyssey GeoCoin captures both the spirit of geocaching and the heart of the Geocache Talk network. Whether you're adding it to your personal collection or gifting it to a fellow geocacher, this coin is more than just metal. It's a symbol of unity, inclusion, and adventure. And at just $20 each, it's an affordable way to both celebrate your passion and support the future of accessible caching. Don't wait. Supplies are limited. Grab yours today in the Geocache Talk shop and carry a piece of the Cache Odyssey with you wherever your adventures take you.
And I have one right here to show you. There it is. Cache Odyssey Geo Tour coin. It's big, massive coin. Very proud of that. It's been really good to have that. And even if you haven't finished any of the tours, there's 6 Geo Tours, but if you're just sort of working on it, or in the case of Houston, Texas Dave, he wanted to buy it first, then go find Cache Odyssey and take his coin with him when he went to find the different state Cache Odysseys. So, all right. Well, welcome everyone. Just wanted to point that out. And big thanks to our new patrons, Angel Bandit, PWC in PC, returning patron JR and Juju, and Birkenstock Report. Still a little weird, but I think it's funny. It's great. And our featured patrons tonight are people in states that start with the letter P. Kevin, Neil, Daniel, Trisha, Daniel, and Chris. Thanks to all. We got 2 Daniels in there. Thanks you to all our patrons for keeping the show on the air. Well, we got a fun, wonderful show tonight. Let me first bring in one of our co-hosts who's on usually every night. There he is.
Hey.
All right. Glad to have you all on board. Let me bring on everyone else as well. So there they are.
We got somebody.
All our guests for the night. No John tonight. No Pizza Ninjas. So, oh well.
What are the odds of him not being on here on the Canadian night? That's just. I think it's conspiracy.
Yeah, we joke about him being Canadian because he lives up near the border. So, but no, we have real Canadians tonight, like actual Canadians. I love it. Got real connect. So we've got Jeff May. Cache the Line. Thank you, Jeff, for joining us. That's Jeff right there.
My pleasure.
And Jay, LANMonkey, back. We did a show, gosh, Jay, I think you were like show 8 or something of Geocache Talk, where we did the Slinky Monkey show. That was even before, that was a long time ago.
Or was that when you and I did caching in the Northwest? Because you came on as a guest on CNW, and I had no co-host, so we basically just did the show. Maybe that was the Slinky Monkey show. I can't remember.
Maybe
I don't know, but yeah, there was a Slinky Monkey show way back there.
Way back. Yeah, that was great fun. So thank you, my friend, for being along tonight, because this will be interesting. And it came up, and I'll explain later why this sort of came about. And I thought of you 2 guys because y'all are great, some of my favorite Canadians, and got to see Jeff recently at Gigastock. So that was kind of fun to do that. And, it's always fun.
Very briefly, it was a busy day.
That was a busy day. Got to shake his hand, and we had, hey, how you doing? All right, we're moving on. See ya.
Awesome guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to see everybody for a minute. All right. Well, we're going to do a little bit of I think we're going to do a little bit of this, Jesse.
News.
Some quick news. We want to point out a few things. So we've got obviously the new coins. We've mentioned that. We've also got new coins. They should be here this week, and they're coins that we're going to sell this year as part of Podcast of Hope to raise money for St. Jude. So we would ask folks if you're going to give this year, hopefully during Podcast of Hope, you might want to look at this as an alternate option for you to purchase. You can purchase a coin. There'll be two of them. One's a $100 coin and one's a $50 coin. And if you do that, all the proceeds are going to go to St. Jude. Plus, you get a cool coin because there's really two really great coins that we're going to have available during this period of time leading up to the December 6th, 10th annual Podcast of Hope. So we're very excited about doing that. And we're about to cross 100,000 that we've raised for this. So Jesse, you want?
Yeah, just for people that may not know anything about what you're talking about, Podcast of Hope is a once-a-year charity that we do for St. Jude. We've been raising money for several years, to the 10th year in a row. Yeah, it'll be close to 100,000. Every year we do a long show in December to raise money for St. Jude, and lots of guests, lots of fun things on there. We give away prizes. What Gary was talking about was the coins we're doing this year. This is for people have been donating for many, many years.
Yep.
We tried to come up with a really cool commemorative way for the fundraiser this year, so we made a coin for those people. The biggest thing I want to mention, because we'll talk about Podcast Hope a lot later, but none of this goes to Geocache Talk. So this is not a fundraiser for Geocache Talk. No. This is 100% fundraiser. Most of the prizes are donated, everything else every year. Everything goes to St. Jude. So if you don't know what St. Jude is, look it up. You've got time before our show, and it's awesome. So we'll keep doing that as long as we have a podcast. We'll keep doing a once-a-year fundraiser for St. Jude. So
So that's wonderful. Yeah. More on that obviously later and good all that. So, all right. So let's jump into what we're calling Twig this week in geocaching. You like that? It came from.
Before we do that, you want to talk about the 800,000 souvenir campaigns going on right now, or I don't know if we need to list those off, or do you think everybody already knows?
No, they're in the notes. Just FYI, they're in the notes.
There are a bunch of souvenir campaigns coming up in the next couple months, so they're all in the notes. We'd spend a few minutes talking about it, but let's just jump into actual geocaching stuff.
We are, and like I said, one thing I do want to point out is definitely check out the notes this week. We're probably not going to get to all of our notes, but both Jeff and Jay put in some incredible notes on tips and tricks to caching in Canada. So,
but I am curious though, are either of you souvenir hunters? Do you like the souvenirs? Do you do stuff special to get them? Do you miss them?
I love them, but it's fun to load up the digital shelf. But more, it's it just cache the way we're normally going to cache, and we pretty much guaranteed we're going to earn them. How about you, Jeff?
Whereas I love the concept of the treasures and the hunts. Like it's a great way, I think, to bring that treasure aspect, the contents of caches back, but in a digital manner. But I just haven't been caching enough to get there.
hear about that.
Yeah.
I've got a whole lot of event-based souvenir treasures.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna ask you about
the traveling souvenirs are a little harder to get though. So,
yeah.
But I think it's like challenge and
under
stat
probably
based.
8 feet of snow right now, right? So it's always snowing in Canada and stuff. But we'll talk about that later.
Always. It's snowing right now.
It's got to be snowing outside right now, sure.
Yeah. Well, how's your igloo, Jeff? Did you get it?
Oh, it's warm and toasty, very toasty.
Yeah. Same.
We're already off topic, Gary. Shame on you.
Oh my! I tell you,
obviously your fault.
Yeah.
Hey Gary, we'll get you back on track. What did you do this week in geocaching?
Yeah, Twig. Also, it came from This Week in Baseball. Is where I got that. Twig. This Week in Geocaching. So, long story I'll make real short, which is oldest in Oklahoma. And you're thinking, oh, this might be a nice little walk in the park kind of thing. No, it was. It's called Where Eagles Roost, and even though I'm down 20 pounds and I'm definitely in better shape than I was a couple months ago, it was, I call it where eagles crap on your head, because this one was rough. Getting there, I'm okay with lately with a trail, but when you start to have to go up a hill or multiple hills, that's where it gets a little trickier for me, because I'm just not in the shape that I need to be in. So, shout out, and I want to also, she made it into the room. So, Dawn Treadway, real quick note on Dawn. I wanted to wait till she was here to mention that she is also now Geocache Talk Network's production manager. So give her a shout out, and very excited to have her on board. She designed this coin, and she designed the Podcast to Hope coins. So very excited to have her on board to do that. But anyway, we both did that Oklahoma cache, and she's in much better shape than I am, because she got there fine, and but she also kind of helped this old man out of the woods. So it was it was an adventure, but I made it. You know, what they say about, did you die? No, didn't die. So, but it was great
Yeah.
fun, and
It was a special find though too, right? It wasn't just a find.
it was a special find because it finished for me a double Jasmer. So,
Woo!
Jasmer.
Mhm.
So that was exciting, and so I had to survive, right? Because I mean, you can't die in the middle of a double Jasmer. That'd be kind of, well, I guess it'd be newsworthy.
At least wait till you get the quad done.
Yeah, wait till I get to quad. Well, we're doing quad next year, next June.
Late summer.
in
Yeah, we'll
Stockholm.
probably be quite close to that next summer.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, how about you guys? Who's next? Who wants to go next?
I'll jump in. Let's give them some time because they weren't ready. They weren't prepared for it.
Sorry, we jumped them. Yeah.
This week, the only highlights I did this week for geocaching was I went out one day. So the family was out of town. I stayed home with the dog. So that means I get to go out geocaching by myself. Solo geocaching means I finally get to do earth caches without somebody yelling at me. So, and she knows, she's in the chat room. She knows it's coming. So I went out, and it actually ended up being a pretty cool day. I only got 6 total for the day. I just went after these 6 earth caches that were all around Tampa in the area. But it ended up being quite an interesting day. One, I got to take my time and visit the locations. But 2, I got to use a thermometer for the first time ever in geocaching. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Never got to do that before. The next one I went to was in downtown Tampa, and it was based on some fossils that were, yes, my wife was already booing it. She's in the chat room. Some fossils on this building, like you see before, and this limestone stuff. But it was in a really not a great place to be able to find parking and everything else. And there was construction everywhere.
Right.
So there was definitely some illegal parking going on there. I pulled up on the curb and jumped out to the building. So I don't recommend anybody do that, but that did happen. But then I went to the next one. It was this cool monument or whatever. And then the next one I did was a 5 difficulty multi-stage earth cache in a cemetery across 2 different cemeteries. And it had to do with the stones and the weather and everything else like you've seen. But it was a really cool way that was set up, because I was like, 5D, I don't know. What's this going to be asking? It was just because there was a lot of stops and a lot of things to compare, right? So you don't get to do very many 5 difficulty earth caches. Then I went to one that was, and I got to meet Dale. So I'm on this trail, and apparently homeless people like to camp at earth caches now. So, poor Dale had his bicycle broken down, and he was working on it right at GZ. So that was pretty awesome.
Oh boy.
But super nice dude. And I talked to him for a little bit because it was kind of weird. I was the weird one coming out there, because like, why are you coming to this random spot and looking at rocks? Like they're everywhere. I was like, well, here's kind of what's going on. So we had a little conversation. Nice guy. So, and then I went to one that was one of those 2-stage comparison things. And because I was in a park and I was looking at water and like in random locations, there were some odd stares there, but whatever. We got it going. So it was one of those weird days where everywhere I went, something happened at that the new place. But I got 6 of them, and Chrissy didn't have to go to one of them, so she was happy.
She was very excited then.
Yeah, so I got to fly around town doing that and take my time, and that was probably the highlight day of caching for the week. So it was pretty fun though. Yeah, not too bad.
Jay, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, this week. So we, Mrs. Monkey's always working on a few challenges at the same time. So she had a few select caches she wanted to find. But we were supposed to, weather was iffy for this weekend, but it turned out to be beautiful. And so Saturday we went out and just did some driving around Metro Vancouver area and just found a few beautiful little spots. I got to film some content for some upcoming videos I'm working on and find a interesting variety of caches, from difficulty for crazy, like nano glued to the bottom of a rock in a pile of rocks, kind of like really tough, right up to a great looking ammo can tucked inside a stump. Like just like the whole spectrum in a day. It was pretty awesome.
Very awesome. I know, Jeff, you might want to also talk. I'm going to set you up to talk about your event that's coming up this week as well. So what do you think?
Well, otherwise for me, I think if it's this week in geocaching,
yes,
right, zero smileys. This month in geocaching, 3, and 2 of them are events, and 1 is an FTF.
Yay!
It's been a slow month, but no, this past week I've just been prepping a whole lot of stuff for Fall Fest for Ontario's latest mega coming up on this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think there's events all week. It's I would describe it as Ontario or Canada's answer to Midwest Geobash.
Very nice.
It's a lot of the same organizers and the same kind of structure. We're at a fairgrounds. It's camping. There's loads of stuff going on around the event. They've just been publishing so many geocaches out the wazoo, challenges, trails, geo arts, all of that stuff. It's insane the amount of stuff that they're doing for this event, and it's the first one. Hopefully, if it's successful, it'll keep happening year after year.
That's awesome. Yeah. Click on the wrong one. There you go.
X1X1 Fall Fest. That's
Fall
right.
Fest.
Nice GC code.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tricky to get that. I had to maybe ask for it.
I like that a lot better than the GC code they had for the Going Ape event this year in Washington.
Oh no! What was
GC AWAYJ? I am not kidding you. That was the GC code. It's like, am I not welcome?
Yeah. Go away, Jay. That's funny. All right. Good stuff. All right. So let's get into tonight's topic because, again, fascinating story I'll get to later about how this sort of came about. But I have been now to cross the border. Haven't flown in yet. That's another story that I want to get from you guys. But driving across the border and caching in Canada and then coming back. So let's go through and kind of talk about what should people know about the process. And let's start with a question that we had. What should people know about caching in British Columbia and also caching in Ontario? Because that's a question that came about since you guys live in, I don't know if people know this or not, but y'all live in different parts of Canada. In fact, I don't know off the top of my head. Do you guys want to take a guess as to how far it would take one of you to drive to the other one?
It's about 4,000 kilometers, I would.
Yeah.
That's like 80 days.
4,000 kilometers.
I took the Greyhound from where I was to BC one year and did the cross country trip, and I think that was it 3 days, something like that. But that was stopping in every province as well, and it was just constant drive.
Right.
Gary, pop quiz for Gary. I don't know if you guys know this. How many provinces in Canada?
Oh man, I should know this.
It's a round number, Gary.
10? Keep going.
10
Was it
provinces.
10?
No, that was thumbs up.
10.
That was
You got
exactly
it.
it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
10 provinces and 3 territories.
Awesome. 8.5. What is this? What are you doing? Kendall, 8.5. There's a half. No.
Or are you thinking
Um,
time zones? There's like a half time
Yeah.
zone out east.
there's probably so.
Newfoundland, yeah.
So we'll start. Let's start with good old Ontario. What are some things in a general sense? And again, we're doing a lot of general stuff tonight, but in the show notes we do have a lot of more specific things. But I guess in a general sense, Jeff, what should people know about caching in the province of Ontario?
In so many words, general sense.
Yes, I
I'd say
know.
that Ontario's strengths would be, if we're talking nature, we've got the Canadian Shield, and if anybody knows geology, it's
Right.
like a massive rocky area of eastern Canada, and so we've got loads and loads of forests and parks, and especially in northern and central Ontario. And so there are the camping is huge. Wilderness, wildlife, crown land is like free use land. It's not
Okay.
owned by anybody.
Cool.
And then so lots of camping opportunities, lots of wild animals, and
Right.
and so a lot of people have great adventures up there. I mean, if you've heard of Algonquin, that's eastern, kind of central eastern Ontario up there.
Right.
Huge, enormous wilderness park, very popular, very tourist heavy. But yeah, I mean, when I think of Ontario personally, I think parks and trails and rivers. And when it comes to geocaching, loads of power trails and challenge caches and paddle trails. People do enormously long full day paddles of cache by cache by cache. It's like trail
Wow.
systems on the rivers. And so if
Right.
you were to look up the map of Ontario, Southern Ontario especially, you just find interwoven lines of all these power trails, of series of there's a Where I Go GeoArt of a couple paddles as well. There's like it's just
very cool.
insane how many
Nice.
trails there are.
Wow.
So that's what I think of when I
Think
of Ontario, my home
Ontario.
Ontario. So
So Jeff, I already have a question. You said free use land. Well, obviously we don't have very much of that. So what's the what's the geocaching policy around free use land? Can you just do whatever you want, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think to my knowledge, Crown land, if you were to place caches, you could. It's not like provincially owned. You wouldn't have to get like government permission or anything. It's people go camping, like they'll go into Crown Forest and just explore and then camp wherever they want. You know, it's basically unowned. I think there's still some regulations about it, to my knowledge, as far as I'm concerned, but it's basically free land.
Wow.
So like you can't claim it for your own.
Right.
But it's yeah.
Yeah, it's owned by the Crown. So Jay, how
But
about you?
also, but nobody
Okay.
really takes care of it either. I think it's like wild land. It's also not really taken care of. So
Okay.
there could be there could potentially be logging. I think maybe I'm not sure if that happens only on private, but yeah. So yeah, you go in there, you're basically on your own.
Damn. Jay, how about British Columbia? What do you think?
Yeah, so I'd say the other side of the country, but Ontario is kind of the middle of the country.
Yeah.
So we're on the left
Yeah.
coast, as we like to say,
Yeah.
out here in BC. And then one of the things, because we're a coastal province, there's a lot of opportunities to explore oceanside. But BC basically goes from the ocean to the Rocky Mountains. It's pretty big. And in that span, we have a lot of different geographies, which is one of the things that's really, really cool about British Columbia. So you go from the coastal rainforests, you go over the first set of mountains,
Right.
and you're in a high desert region where you got your rattlesnakes and your hoodoos and what have you, and all that. And then you keep going through that, and you're back into more forests and up into the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, what's up?
Mountains.
Yeah,
mountains.
we're gonna back up
Hoodoo?
for a second.
Yeah,
What's a hoodoo?
What's a hoodoo?
Oh. is that's not just a Canadian term, is it? It's
May not be, but it's not.
We know what
American,
rattlesnakes are, but
yeah.
we're not familiar with-
So
a hoodoo
a hoodoo
is a-
it's a geological feature.
Oh, I thought you were talking about an animal. I know what a hoodoo is.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about an animal. You said rattlesnakes and hoodoos. I thought,
Ah,
what kind of animal
Well,
is
just
that?
trying to think like what kind of typifies the high prairie area.
Oh, we
okay,
gotcha.
okay. I would even think in that direction. Yes, obviously hoodoos, they're here too. But I thought you were saying it was some kind of animal along with the rattlesnake.
No,
Right.
that's the one
Oh,
nice thing about BC. Well, I won't speak for Ontario, but probably Ontario as well. Not a lot of dangerous animals that are that you're not going to
Notice.
see. Let's put it that way. We got lots of bears,
Yeah.
various varieties. Pretty much all the bears,
Wolves.
wolves, and mountain lions, or cougars.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Very cool. All right. So getting across the border. This is always kind of fun to spend a few minutes on. Obviously, flying in is a whole other area. Driving across, I have done a couple times, and both times for me, I guess, have been easy. But I want you guys, because you guys cross a lot more than I have ever crossed. I crossed in 2 spots. I crossed in Abbotsford, and I crossed in International Falls. And I'll talk about the International Falls one in a minute. But where do you guys typically cross? And also, can you sort of give, it's hard to say, again, we're doing general stuff here, but the process of crossing both directions. So obviously you're the Canadians coming across the US, you have, I would think, similar requirements, or you guys tell me what's happening with crossing for you guys.
I'll just insert one thing first. I
Sure.
like you talk about how you rarely come up to the Canada and whatnot. What I found even before geocaching is that there's a lot more Canadians that travel to the US than vice versa. We talk about people coming to Canada, they're like, what do I need? Passport? Oh, I don't have a passport. It's like almost every any Canadian would have a passport, but you don't have a passport in the US?
Right.
Come on, they get you like, so yeah, it seems like it's a lot rarer for Americans to come up to Canada.
Right.
I think
So
one
that's
of
the
the
first thing to
reasons,
look into.
yeah, and I think one of the reasons for that, Jeff, is because here, Canada, our population base is generally along the border. Like you start going, a little bit north of the border, and it gets thinner and thinner to the point. Well, I mean, yeah, you and I both know, you got long stretches with nothing, right? But forest. So,
yeah, most Canadians live along the southern part of Canada, or so. Very true.
Except for Edmonton.
Sort of odd. There are a lot of Americans that just don't have a passport, which is bizarre to me. I grew up differently, I guess, in the fact that my parents sort of taught us, and the fact about travel and going to other countries, but for the most part, you guys need, similar to us, which need a passport. Oh, there you go. Somebody has
international driver's license, I think, is another option.
Yeah.
I think.
He's in Oklahoma.
That's a relatively
though.
new thing.
You're in Oklahoma. You can need a passport, man. Come on. So, and there's a lot of things you can get now with at least on ours. I assume you may have something similar, but you can get, there's a name, Nexus, or a couple. Okay.
Yeah, most well, I shouldn't say most Canadians. A lot of Canadians have the Nexus because we're so, as Jeff and I were saying, so proximate to the border. And as Jeff said, a lot of us do frequent travel. It's just so much easier to have the Nexus.
Yeah. And what's funny and annoying is that I actually registered finally for a Nexus just before I got married. If you know anything about Nexus, the caveat to Nexus is that everybody in the vehicle has to have Nexus.
Yeah.
So if somebody there doesn't have a Nexus membership, then the entire car has to go through the regular line. You don't get favorite.
You're not grandfathered in because one person has it.
Yeah. So
one thing
everybody's family's got to have it.
One thing I would say for sure, though, for your listeners, Jesse and Gary, there's a website called travel.gc.ca. And if you want to know, like, what do I need to do to get into Canada? Like, just go to that. Like, the best advice I can give is go to that website, because like any country, the rules change from time to time.
Sure. Absolutely.
Especially in the last 5 years, since COVID, we've seen all kinds of different rules flapping around. So if you go there, you'll know for sure what you need to do to get into Canada. That's the easiest. But from experience, You were asking earlier, Gary, what's the experience going either direction? Frankly, it's been pretty straightforward for me for quite a while. And I noticed I saw one person in the chat, I can't remember who it was, but commented about every time they say geocaching, they get pulled over. In fact, what I do is like just full disclosure when I come up to the border. So it's, hat off, sunglasses off, all the windows down, and just like, what are you coming to the US for? We're going geocaching. Where are you going?
Yeah. It feels like the more that you make their job easier, the more likely they're going to make your life easier.
Right.
100%.
It's like if I've had one of them get annoyed that I didn't take my hat off, or annoyed that my window wasn't down. It's like, put your window down. I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot. It's like, if you just do that, be prepared, go up there, don't freak out. Just do, if you know what they want, just do it right away. Answer a question. Just, what I find is that the more that you look like you know what you're doing, and it looks like you are a geocacher and you can explain it easily, the easier it's going to be. Because more and more people are crossing the border now, so the border guards are getting more accustomed to people saying geocaching. It's rare now that somebody legitimately at the border doesn't know what geocaching is. Sometimes they might ask, so what's geocaching? I had one time when I was crossing and the border asked what I was geocaching. It's like, so you're finding things. What kind of things are you finding? Finding treasure, money, or getting into other unsafe things.
What are you bringing home with you?
Pride around.
Yeah, what are you going to declare?
It's like, it's just a fun scavenger hunt using GPS. GPS, what are you trying to... Oh my goodness.
Global position.
Don't get nervous. Just be clear and answer. And chances
those
are they
people
already
are
know.
annoyed and they do that job all day long. They don't really, they're just like, come on, just come on, let's go.
Yeah. So
I've crossed the border in BC and Ontario, both in car, on a car and on a ship. And really the only one time I really thought like, this is going to look suspicious was we were on a road trip, me and a buddy of mine. He was from Colorado. I'm from Florida. Our car was out of like New Jersey or something. And we flew into another state and we're driving. And I'm like, and we're both dirty from like days of driving and stuff. We probably look like criminals anyway. And I thought, oh, this guy, there's no way this dude's not going to ask questions, because we're just like going to go across the border and then eat dinner, geocache, and come back across, And I was like, oh, this is just, I would pull me over. This is ridiculous. Right? And I come up and dude's like, all right. I thought we had this whole speech ready. Like, here's what we're going to see. We had it pulled up on our phone and everything. And it was like,
show them.
All right, come on through. Like, oh man, come on.
That's also a good point as well. It's like, always be over prepared.
Right.
Because if you go and let's say, like for us, if we have a child that needs to have a letter of permission or something, then have it with you. Because if you're asked for it, you don't have it, it's going to cause a whole lot of other problems. So if you think it might be something they might ask, just be prepared. Like, go over your answers beforehand. Like, where are you going? How long are you going to be there? Where are you from? Like, just make sure you got them in your head, and then you can just answer them clearly.
And Jeff, you just brought up a really good point that I think I added in the notes earlier, because I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. Folks who are either single parents or if you're a blended family, you really got to be paying attention to bringing those kids across the border, either direction, because they're going to ask. And as Jeff said, if you have a letter of permission from the other birth parent, it makes your life a lot.
Proof of birth as well, like birth certificate. If you don't have a passport, birth certificate, anything that it helps identify who you are and whatnot, where you live and stuff.
Yeah, they're obviously clearly trying to stop an issue where somebody's child trafficking, and there's once they're across the border, it makes things probably much more difficult for them to trace the child back.
Absolutely.
So this is a good so you're exactly right, Jay. There's real quick story. I just recently went across at International Falls, which is was also interesting, into Ontario. So I got my first Ontario cache. So I was very excited. Going across into Fort Francis there. And the funny thing about it is, of course, it was actually Dawn and I did it. And she's in Arkansas. I'm in Texas. My plates are in Texas. So we went to the border. We both hand them our passports, and they go, okay, what are you doing here? It's like, we're geocaching. Okay. You're from Texas and you're in Minnesota and you're gonna geocache. What else are you? Why are you also here? Like, nope, that's it. We just came to geocache. So it's like, no, you are really. That's all you. Yeah, we're just gonna geocache. So.
Yeah,
So
just
go
be
over.
honest and clear.
We
That's
literally did. We geocached. We also went to Tim Hortons, but we didn't want to.
As one does.
There you go. So we're coming back across. What? Oh yeah, I don't know.
It was built up quite a lot before I went the first time. I'll leave it at that. Now, I will say, like I've said before, the Kinder eggs lived up to the hype, but the rest, Timmy's, all right, is all right.
So we were coming back across. Oh yeah, and so Dawn mentions that they were not happy with her. They do not mess with your phone.
Yes.
While you're in line and you're about to go across, because they were not happy with her. Like, man, put your phone down. So it's like,
okay. Your attention should be 100% on the guard.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so we were coming back across, and of course, Dawn. So they want to know what you're bringing. That's always, at least from the American side. I don't know if you guys get that coming back into Canada. They always ask you what you want to declare or what you're bringing back. I assume they do, But
yeah, there's a limit to how much you can get while you're over the border, depending on how long you're there.
Right, right. So we just declared that we had coffee from Tim Hortons. So we had Timbits. That was our declaration, and they're like, "Go get out of my sight." It was like,
you almost have to kind of read the guard as well, because some of them might appreciate the joke and some of them might not.
Yeah. We were clear.
It's touchy.
Yeah, kind of like Dawn says. She said no. She said, "Nope, you're not here to geocache." Yeah, we are. That's what we were doing. So
that's not right.
Yeah, good stuff. But very simple. It depends too. I know something that I don't know if you guys need to do this, or it depends from where you live. But if people need to know ahead of time, like how long it's going to take to cross, there are some really good websites that give you sort of a basic idea of how long it's going to take. I know, like up by your way, Jay, the big international peace arch, that entrance into that area is busy as heck, right? Okay.
Yeah. So that's a little trade secret is if you're coming up to come geocaching in British Columbia, the west part of British Columbia here near Vancouver, don't take the Peace Arch. Take one of the other border crossings.
I went to Abbotsford because and crossed over there.
And crossing there, yeah.
It was easy, but there's less guards or there's less lines, so there's more lines, like you said, where you're at. But then again, there's so many more people trying to get across. What about? Is there a trick or something that I would say a hack or whatever, Jeff, about getting to certain parts of Ontario, or do you just?
Well, I think for where I am in Southern Ontario, there's the west and the east side. So there's Detroit and Buffalo for crossing over, and there's also Sarnia in Ontario. That's Fort on the other side. I can't remember what the U.S. side is.
Sure.
But there's a few crossings, and they're all really close to each other. But I think the most convenient would be down through Detroit, because you're connecting to the south end of the 401, and the 401 highway is the spine of Ontario. You start out in Detroit or down in Windsor, and then you hop on the 401, and you've got like probably a 10-11 hour drive to get to the east end of Ontario by Ottawa at the 401.
Right.
I think 6 of those hours are getting through Toronto, right?
Oh my!
So that would be a convenient one. Niagara Falls through Buffalo is really nice. It's got that great scenery. You've got Niagara Falls on west and east, and you've got Buffalo down at Fort Erie. But they connect again through a highway. It's just like the 401, but it connects through the what was it again? The QEW, the Queen Elizabeth Highway, and it connects into the 401 as well. So they're all, we've got highways that just really connect. Sure. It's a really nice network. But once you get to the GTA, that's where it gets slow. But anyway, that's not a border crossing.
Yeah.
It's like a country of its own.
And I know that going across a couple things that I think from the American side that it's not a. I don't think it's a big deal, but I mean, some people, I mean, everybody has their own sort of freak out moments, whatever. As you may or may not know, when you get across the border, you're not going to find a speed limit sign that you're used to,
Yeah.
but you'll get used to it quickly. Trust me. A lot of vehicles nowadays, you push a button and all of a sudden you're back to you're on the kilometers. So
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot.
That- I'll
ahead.
insert that's for U.S. cars. In Canada, I think there's even a regulation that the Canadian cars that are manufactured in Canada at least can't switch to miles per hour.
Really?
Like I've rented cars in Canada and I can't switch. There's no switch to them. So every time I go to the U.S., I have to look at the analog dial, the speed dial,
because they'll have it on
and
there.
then see
It's
the
still
US
on
numbers.
the dash though, right?
Can't
Like
switch it.
yeah.
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 Oh yeah. You've got kilometers and miles both on the odometer, but
Yeah.
Right.
the speedometer. But yeah, you have to watch that one because I can't switch to miles. Like, that's so
Well,
annoying.
that's interesting, Jeff. My Jeep, I've got I can just buttons on the steering wheel and
Mhm.
flip it over pretty fast. So, boy, that sucks.
Yeah, that's kind of
Because I hate
I
doing
have to
that.
look it up.
when I go south.
I vaguely, I only vaguely recall hearing something about how that's something in Canada that cars aren't allowed to do. But I don't know, maybe I could be wrong on that. But yeah,
most things I've found, and I spent a day I spent a full day and stayed the night over in Abbotsford and experienced again, the geocaching over there, and it was wonderful and loved it. The everything else, I think there are some things we have in the notes as far as like filling up your car or doing things that maybe. I mean, you guys use liters?
So yeah, well, here's the thing with Canada, and there's been lots of fun memes over the years about this. Is
Right.
that we're pretty bidirectional when it comes to measurement units, with the exception of distance. Miles, I won't speak for Jeff, but miles don't really mean anything to me at all.
Right.
no.
So in the
Nope.
in the metric system, everything is base 10, which is so nice.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
it's so much
We
easier when it's
know.
all tens.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you ask a Canadian, like, what's the temperature, we'll tell you in Celsius. But if you say, well, what's that in Fahrenheit, we'll make a pretty close guess.
Yeah.
Weight,
Very rough.
things like that. Yeah, we can handle either set of units.
Mhm.
But yeah, distances and speeds are really what you got to pay attention to. What you were saying earlier, Gary, like once you cross, and you got to be paying attention to those signs, because it looks like you can drive a whole lot faster, but no, you don't.
No.
You're,
I can do 90. This is awesome.
I want to
100.
That's
All
funny.
right.
All right. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking the other way, that the numbers were, if you were thinking the wrong numbers, you'd be driving really slow
right.
under the limit. But now
That's what we do when we go
It's
south.
it's confusing. Yeah.
like 55. What the heck? What am I gotta
Yeah,
go
weird
55
number.
along
And
here?
like, you won't find like 25. You're looking for 25, the location list for this year. You won't find 25 kilometers per hour very often. It's a very weird number. I did see somebody post a picture of themselves by a 25 kilometers per hour sign.
Right.
So somewhere
Wow.
they found one, and probably
That's
some
super
rural
unique.
small road somewhere,
Yeah.
farmland.
Has anybody done that one yet? Any of the other three of you? I have not done it yet. The location list 25.
Not yet. Keep
I
forgetting.
know
I have
the year's going to end. You're going to forget about it.
I have a picture in our back pocket that if I can't find anything better, we've got one to use, but I'm
Yeah.
still keeping my eyes open for something better than that. It was at a campsite we went to. It was campsite number 25.
Oh, that's cool.
It was all right, but
Mhm.
I'm hoping for something spectacular. So we'll see.
I actually did a montage. I found a bunch of. I've been collecting 25s, and B Genius. We talked about this at Bamarama, and it's amazing how it's like anything else. We've all been there. Like yellow trucks. Do you ever see yellow trucks? And then now that you start looking for yellow trucks, you see them all over the place.
Yeah.
So we keep finding these 25s, and the big joke now is like speed limit 25, and we said like, no, that's horrible. You do better than that. So A 25 at a Bucky's Pump is one of them that I put. So I put together a small montage of 25 just for fun. It was just kind of one of those weird things where if you start looking for the 25s, you're going to start finding a lot of them. It's just one of those weird little.
Yeah, but I haven't found a good one yet. I've only found like the speed limit signs and like addresses and stuff like that, but no good ones. Now, at the end of the year, that speed limit sign will work. If I can't find it,
Might work, yeah.
I'm gonna claim it no matter what. But
Carmen at our at a Bamarama event, she dressed like a domino, and the domino was 25. So he had a 2.
oh, no, that's a good one. That would have.
So I figured I had to put that in the montage because I mean, come on.
Yeah, that wouldn't. If that was your only one, though, that wouldn't count, right? Because it has to be a permanent sign.
Has to be a permanent sign, yeah. So
yeah,
I
I'm
found
sure somebody's worried about that. They'll police that one for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll police that or not, but
sounds like a fun job at HQ, right?
Yeah.
It's like the punishment. Yeah.
What a great job.
You got on Brian's bad side, and guess what job you got? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's switch over then to sort of the caching side of things, because I have some questions. I think Jesse has some that come to mind. So in the U.S., as you guys know, because you've come to the U.S. quite often to cache, you have people who are chasing counties, states. Well, they're chasing a lot of different things, but let's just say for U.S. versions, I guess, of things. Do you guys have people who are province chasing, or
Yes.
do you have the equivalent of a county?
Yes.
Yep.
You do? Okay. What do y'all
They're just
call them?
a lot bigger.
A lot bigger counties.
Exactly.
Do y'all call them counties, or what do y'all call them up north?
It depends on the province.
Yeah.
I think in
Okay.
Ontario they're called
Municipalities,
counties,
yeah.
and BC they're called regions. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you have challenges based on that?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So
And they're hard.
Yes.
Yeah, you look at the challenges for some of the states, and you just look at how many counties there are in each state. It's just, whoa.
Right.
You look at Ontario, and it's like little splatters down here, and then whoosh, huge, enormous things that cover half the province. It's like,
right.
okay. And yeah, some, like for Ontario at least, there, you know how it has that big curve,
Right.
and there's Southern Ontario, the area Arrowhead. If you want to get all of them, you have to go all the way east, and then all the way to the far west side, and all around all the lakes. Like you've got to go around the lakes or across through the U.S. if you want to, but it's not an easy task. Big road trips.
Yeah,
It's a
I
challenge.
like it.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge. Yeah.
How far have you gotten in Ontario, Jeff? Have you gotten all?
I've
of
got
them,
all
or?
the counties now. Yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
good,
wow.
good, good.
Good
I've
job.
done enough Ontario road trips to be able to do that.
Pick them all out. Pick them apart.
Yeah.
Pick them off. What about provinces though? Because I know some of them, they're a little bit of a. How do you
Harder to
guys,
get to,
or
yeah.
how would y'all approach trying to get all the provinces we can't do it in one trip. But,
Depends if you're retired or not.
No.
yeah.
I think that's universal.
Can you drive to every province?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
A
I
lot
guess
of
there if
driving.
you have ferries.
Ferry
car
to
ferries for
Newfoundland.
some
But
of
yeah,
them.
you can
Yeah.
drive to.
Right.
PEI's got the bridge.
Yeah,
Like
none of
I
it-
mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier the Greyhound trip that I did. So I did cross country from home to BC,
Right.
and thankfully, well, there were stops in every province. So I made sure that with the depending on the length of the stop, I was able to find the closest cache to the bus and get out and
Right.
get back before moving on. So I got every province from Quebec and west. I just haven't been to the Maritimes yet. I haven't been past Quebec, so I've still got to get over there.
Right.
I had a
I'm
couple
assuming
trips
that's
planned, and
a
then COVID hit, and then
a 5 difficulty challenge in Canada to get all the provinces.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
It would be
it's
definitely.
I'd say it's difficulty more for trip planning. Really, it's just a
Right,
matter
right.
of being able to plan a vacation that would get to the provinces.
Yeah, and we've often got challenges for similar to what you folks would have in the states, of get the oldest in each province and territory
yeah.
and things like that. So,
Mhm.
and
Oldest of
that's
each
the other thing
side.
is that the territories are a lot harder to get to and cache in than the provinces are.
Sure.
Just because we talked earlier, right? Like the majority of the population kind of
Mhm.
goes along the U.S. Canada border, and
Right.
then the territories are the northern part of Canada, and
Right.
it's
A little
I will
trickier.
add, so there is another little trick in for Ontario. None of it is a territory up north, but
Yes.
the border goes through Hudson Bay, and comes down down along the coastline. And so we've had a number of people from Ontario set up trips because there is an island that can be accessed just off the coastline of Northern Ontario, and it's just could be a kayak, but it's still not necessarily the best to do. But it's also native land, I believe, as well. So you can get to the island, and there are I think there's at least one earth cache there, and
Nice.
they can host events there. What is it? I'm looking for it. Yeah, out by Fort George. There's one on the island just off of Ontario, GC794HE. Geocache Island, Nunavut. It's a five terrain, 1.5. It's just a quick boat ride. You rent a boat, and they've held events on the island, and you get Nunavut from Ontario.
Nice. I didn't know you
Somehow
could
the
do
border
that.
just
Cool.
right along the edge.
It's a good trick. Good hack.
Yeah. I
It's
like
doable.
Excellent. Yeah. How are you guys as far as like things like the oldest in every? I mean, obviously you want to try to. If you're near the oldest, it's not like that's like I can think all of us are similar. Like if you're near an old one or the oldest in the state and of that state, you kind of want to race out and try to get it. Or in my case, you want to limp out to it in case of Oklahoma. But for the most part, you guys are obviously, and Jeff put this in the notes too, is like we are doing an international game in different parts of the world, and we all experience similar things. We all want to, well, not everyone, but I think we chase challenges when we can. Some people are more interested in challenges than others, but there's always great challenges. Is there, other than those kind of items, what are some things that do you think really excite Canadians, or is it again something that would excite any cacher, or is there something specific about in Canada, do you think?
I think one of the things that I really find that is fun about geocaching in Canada, and I know Jesse will enjoy this, is the earth caching.
Mhm.
And the reason is because it's so diverse every place you go. So off the start, and I was describing, just the geography of British Columbia and the geology of it, it
Right.
varies so quickly as you go across it. So you can just have these opportunities to find really interesting and diverse earth caches across all of Canada. Now there'll be commonalities. You'll see some similar types of things on either side of the country or towards the middle, but then you'll also get some really diverse things. One of the things that I found really interesting is the plentitude of fossils you can find in the prairies, in the prairie provinces. That surprised me, but it's because it was all a big ocean
Yeah.
at one point in time.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's and again, we don't have time tonight to go through. I mean, there's so many beautiful parts of Canada. I mean,
yeah.
The couple, again, not a lot of time over, but the times I've been so far have been fabulous. I mean, they're just, and I just can't imagine. I know, Jesse, you took the cruise all the way up to Alaska.
Yeah.
And you got to see a lot of Canada coming back.
Well, we stopped in Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah. Victoria is so beautiful. So, that's something that we definitely want to emphasize tonight, is that you need to go to Canada. People need, I mean, come on, Americans, you need to get your dang passport. It's easy to cross. It's easy to travel. And
If you're not a felon.
yes, well, that's true.
That goes both directions though. Like,
Yeah.
that's
But-
not just
And there's it's beautiful there. And there's geocaches that are
There's
that
a
are there.
ton of geocaches, actually.
Yeah, lots of great geo arts. Like Jeff was saying earlier, challenge trails. I think one of the cool things is that, like, between Ontario and us out here in BC,
Right.
is how we handle the challenge alleys, the challenge trails differently, right? Like Jeff, you're talking about the paddle ones. We don't have that out here because our rivers are a little rougher. We don't have the nice calm rivers you guys have. So we don't have that kind of thing. But Instead, we've got like over on Vancouver Island, just north of Victoria, we got
Right.
some amazing challenge trails
Mhm.
there that you can bike or hike. And
Mhm.
I think one thing I would say though, and maybe this is global,
Mhm.
but we have seen in Southwest BC a definite uptick in reacher caches that you need a pole for.
Oh, yeah.
That's become really, really popular. And I don't know, like, are you guys all seeing that in your regions as well, or is that local here?
Do you,
We
is
we
that
we
what
kind
are
of
they
have
rating them when they do those reacher caches? Are they calling them a 5 or?
The terrain is usually what they put up on those here.
So they're saying that's a special tool, the reacher.
Yeah.
There's your motive
With
there,
the high
I guess.
terrain.
Then, yeah.
In case you're wondering, there is a really good trick of a reacher that you can purchase that's ready to go. And that is, I didn't realize this, but you can get it really long for disc golf. Have y'all seen these?
Yeah.
They have little hooks on the end of them. Man, that thing is perfect. I mean, for a lot of those, there's
for the light ones.
Yes. Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. We've seen a lot of definitely an uptick in Texas as far as caches that are up in a tree. So
I haven't.
I'd say
the
equivalent of here is probably the tree climbs, because we have a lot of people who love going out in groups to find caches, and so it's really easy to place a tree climb if you have a ladder. And so there's a whole lot of tree climb caches everywhere. And if you like to climb trees, great. But so many people go out in groups. One person or two people take a ladder, and then the whole group logs it.
Yeah.
So tree climbs are
a ladder,
dime a dozen.
though. Yeah. Not everybody goes up the ladder. That's for
that's a whole different. We know. No.
Yeah.
We don't get as many of the high pole ones here, but we get, because we have palm trees. We get Florida style hide, which means they've hidden it in one of those little pockets. There's like 1,000 on the tree. Usually a flat pack, and it's
seen a couple.
If it says that, I usually just skip it. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Either a scorpion or a cache, one of the two. You pick one.
Being more in the northern climates, we have loads of coniferous trees and forests up here. So those pine trees and cedar trees, and those are the trees that have that really solid core, and very often with really solid, strong branches and limbs. And so, those are like the best kind of climbs, because a lot of people who don't like climbing trees, it's more accessible as a tree climb.
Yeah.
You can take one step up, and it's like just basically walking up a stairway, some of these trees. So you can have fun with a lot of those coniferous style tree climbs.
Yeah. And on the West Coast here, our Douglas firs and our cedars, they get pretty tall. They can get up like, 20, 30 meters tall, and it's getting close to 100 feet, I guess. And that's quite a climb.
Yes.
I placed a rail trail tree climb series, a tree climb trail, TCT, and I think it was 29 caches so far that are a variety of difficulties and terrains. The goal was to get a full 81 grid somehow of tree climb caches on the trail.
Wow.
But most of those are like cedar trees and pine trees, and rated based on their height, trying to get as good accurate like difficulty for the container and terrain for the difficulty of the tree, that kind of thing. Just try to get a good, decent DT rating for a whole load of tree climbs. So tree climbs are all over the place.
Yeah.
Jeff, are these like the arborist gear tree climb that outside of Memphis?
The five, there was, so I did a 5-5, and it's a multi with two massive tree climbs.
Nice.
One of them is a huge cedar tree, and another one, I can't remember which type of tree it is, but it's very sparse, but with really thick, long limbs, and you just keep going up and up and up. It's like a maze going up this thing to finally get up to the top. You think that it's going to be weak, but it's really tough. And you get up there, and you're looking down, it's like, okay, let's get this thing signed. There's like no twigs, no branches, no leaves. It's just so bare. It's just oof.
quick note: if you've asked a question that you're like, "Hey, I asked a question," we do highlight them, and we're going to get to all of your questions that we can. We won't get to all of them. We'll get to as many as we can tonight in a few minutes when we get to. You want to
hit some of those now, Gary?
Questions? Yeah. Let's do those. So go ahead.
I think is really nice.
All right. So obviously, food came up. They said, "Let's talk food." Nanaimo bars.
Nanaimo bars.
Nanaimo.
Oh, okay, okay.
Nanaimo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So tell us I've never even heard of these. So
That's a
Poutine.
British Columbia delicacy that's out here. Well,
Okay.
you can find them across Canada, but
Oh, yeah,
they come from the city of Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, and it's basically a crust on the bottom with like a coconut chocolate crust on the bottom, and then a layer of
mint.
different fillings, but then
Yeah,
a layer of
there's
filling,
varieties,
usually a
flavors, yeah.
custard,
Right.
and then a chocolate skim on the top, and then
Ooh.
cut into bars, and they are good.
Does sound good.
We just had
Sounds
some
sort of
yesterday.
British too. Oh, here we go.
yeah. Now
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah,
that gives me rail trail caches.
Mm-hmm.
What are
yeah.
rail trail caches?
trails to rail. Rails
Some
to
call
trail.
them rails to trails. Rails to
Mhm.
trail. Rail is just
Trail,
easier to say.
yeah, rails.
It's like
trails.
Used to be a
yeah,
railroad. and they
old,
took-
yeah.
Yeah,
They
Oh, okay,
converted
okay.
into
Yeah,
a
we've got some of those here
hiking.
too.
yeah.
Trail,
They
yeah.
pull that.
Yeah.
John's involved with a lot of that in New York, which it's kind of like I don't know. New York's way up there. I don't know. Y'all want? We
It's
could
just
be
a
on New
hiking
York.
trail.
Can we have?
Although you might
like,
find
British Columbia and y'all take New York. Can we do a swap of some type? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All my New York people are going to be all mad at me. I was just joking.
one of the opportunities for higher difficulties on rail trails is if, as a cache owner, you find off to the side little stacks of rail ties, like discarded old rail ties,
Nice.
like the wood beams and whatnot, because then you
Right.
get some really tough difficulty containers hidden in those. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
an
I bet.
Oh, true. What else we got?
All right, the next two are kind of connected, so I'll pull them up one at a time. But
Okay.
are there DeLorme Maps challenges in Camp? Do you have a DeLorme challenge up there?
We have the equivalent of
Yeah.
that. So for us out here in British Columbia, we've got the BC Backroads maps, and
very
so
cool.
we've got challenges based on finding. It's the same idea. It's just a different
Yeah.
map tile set.
And
Used to be like an old
pre-moratorium.
atlas. Do they still have all the? Do you still have
Yeah.
those today? Where you could kind of like people have. That's where I think DeLorme really started.
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
in the
DeLorme was
States.
a paper map version.
People used to have those. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I
Jeff,
still
what
do
do you
paper
guys-
maps. What are you talking about?
What do you guys have out your way, Jeff?
Jeff's like, what are you
If there's
talking
anything, if there's anything relatively equivalent to the norm, then I'm not aware of it. At least in geocaching, we've
Okay.
got grid challenges, so the DT grids, getting each square.
Yeah.
We had a couple of challenging spots because one of our DT
Right.
grids, the corner, you have to go to the US to get it off to the thumb. Like it's partly in Canada, but there's nothing there to get. And then like you got to go into the thumb of Michigan to get one there to get that corner. And
Gotcha.
so but we've got grid challenges. Yeah.
Sure. Project
That
GC
was,
stuff.
so the next question was, what are the main challenges Canada has that we don't have, or just in reverse too, right? Because
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Finding U.S. states.
Yeah.
We got those challenges.
Yeah, there you go.
We have so
But I
many.
mean, we
you don't
have
have
the
that here,
equivalent, right? So
Yeah. We've got travelers, a lot of travelers, especially retired folk that do a lot of traveling in the U.S. and they decided to put challenges to find caches in the U.S. in Ontario. So I mean, we've got. If you're coming from the U.S. to find challenges, you've probably already qualified for a lot of these traveling caches because most of them are in the U.S.
that's fine.
Right.
And it's annoying for
Right.
people who don't travel to the U.S. because obviously you can never get them.
you
We've
know,
also
you know
got,
what though, Jeff? Like on that note, one of the things that we have a lot out here, and I think it's on on the comment you made earlier about like how many Canadians sort of like percentage wise have a passport. There are quite a number of caches like find the oldest in X number of countries or find webcams in X number of countries.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of challenges we have that are based on the assumption that folks travel internationally. So maybe we have a bit more of that.
I was just gonna say we have a lot of. There's been a few people I think that have been placing a lot of these find one cache in X international country, one cache,
Right.
just one cache in some other country. But these are like countries that barely anybody travels to. They did it on some trip.
right.
Maybe they went with a
North
group and they've
Korea.
got 10 people, so it qualifies.
Right.
So, do you put them on the ignore list? Do you define them just in case the future you might be able to log
Well,
and found
you go sign them is the answer to that. We know the answer to that. Go sign it immediately. It doesn't matter what happens to that.
Yeah.
Can you
Just
do a
add
minute? Go ahead.
to that
I was
list of signed but not qualified.
Right. Can you do, or have you seen guys, and y'all are much more up on the challenge side, but can you can you create a challenge that sort of blends that, where you go, you need to find three caches in either three different states, or you need to do like five. You need to do three states and two provinces in the same day. Is that kind of or something
Can't
like
do
that?
time-based
Oh,
challenge
yeah.
now, but no, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Are the top 1% in Ontario are challenge hounds. So if they can do it, there's a challenge for it by
If
now.
they can find
That's
that,
cool. Okay.
Yeah, if the reviewers will publish it.
Yeah.
right?
So what about multis? So I find this is different in every region, but at least in the US, multis are not the most popular or even towards the top. How about in Canada?
So out here, they didn't used to be. And then our Metro Vancouver Fraser Valley caching community decided they were going to start to put out some challenges around multis. And so what happened is all of a sudden everybody started putting out multis so that everybody else could get the challenge. So we had all of a sudden just a mushrooming of multis, and it's gone back down a little bit now, but it definitely came out for a little bit.
Wow.
So now there's more than there used to be, for sure.
Right.
What about in your
Very
area,
cool.
Jeff?
I'll add another story for a multi that
Yeah.
is kind of funny, which could technically happen anywhere. It's not just Canadian, but we have a few people in my area who are FTF enthusiasts, and one especially, and so a lot of people know that he's going to go for the FTFs, and so somebody
Right, of
decided
course.
to have a little fun with them, and he published a multi, and it was it's in town. It's a low difficulty, low terrain. I saw it and I was like, okay, I got to try this. I go hop out for lunch. So I run down, get the first stage. Got to go a little further south. Okay, so I still got time. Okay, do that. Get the 2nd stage. So the third one is on the other side of the next town over.
Oh God.
Okay, I'll just take a little bit of an extended lunch. So I go to that one. And then the next one is another like 50 some kilometers away, something like that or so.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I'm not going to get to that. So I go home. Later on, after it's been found, he is the FTFer, found out that the final was something like 500 or 600 kilometers away.
Oh my God.
So a road trip to get to it from here. And he did it.
Wow.
And he placed it intentionally for him to see if he would actually do it, to go for the FTF.
That's funny.
Safety was good.
It's like,
Incredible.
oh boy. But hey, some people love the FTF that much.
Yeah, that's it's
It
funny
ruffled a few
how
feathers, to say the least.
Huh.
It's funny how that stays such an aggressive part of the game for some people. Like some people are insane about that, and it's not in my area now, but my previous area there were some groups that, I mean, you're not getting an FTF unless you are waiting and ready to like run out the door and get lucky. But here, I've seen ones here stay till like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where it is, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
But I never saw that. I didn't even think that was possible when I was living in Colorado. But down here, I've seen them stay a few days. But it's different everywhere.
I assume the rules are the same. You need
Oh, yeah.
10 people locally to qualify, just like anything.
It's kind of a contentious one in Ontario because Ontario is so huge.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
you've got a few different geocaching communities within the entire province, and so some people have argued that finding 10 people is very easy, and so you could pretty much still come up with almost any challenge.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, any region's going to have that top 1% that is going to be enough to qualify for any challenge if they've all got it. So
Yeah. The 10 people thing is a general geocaching guideline that the reviewers follow, but it's at the reviewer's discretion, to Jeff's point of what does locally mean. So
Yeah.
So as we're going to start to wrap up tonight. We'll go around the room, give everybody a chance to kind of point out something. I do want to make a note at this time before we do our wrap ups that we are going to have another show about treasures. And next week, we're going to talk about treasures, and some of the new stuff that's coming out, I think, is interesting. I don't know if you guys are following what you have to do now as far as
activating and sorting them.
Yeah, what is up with all this? And then, we're gonna talk about all that. We'll talk about the new, the way you can kind of find different, how you can sort of approach finding treasure. So we'll talk about that. So, Yeah, so very cool. All right. All right. Well, I'll go first real quick. And again, thank you guys so much. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all being available, and known you guys for a while. It's been great to have you guys on tonight, and just love your friendship with us, and you're always welcome to come back too. So we love you guys. As long as you want to, we'll let you come back. So, but I think again, what I mentioned earlier, as far as go to Canada. There's so many beautiful parts to it. Even if just cross the border. I mean, I know not every border crossing is going to be the best, the most gorgeous part of Canada, but still, it's a great experience, and it's just a wonderful chance to kind of stretch out a little bit and going to a spot international. It's not hard. It's not, COVID sort of, pretty much behind us now in a great way. So, you'll get basic questions. Every border crossing is going to be a little bit different, but still, not too bad. So get out and we enjoy. And again, for all our, we have a lot, and Jay, you probably have the same thing. We have a lot of obviously U.S. listeners and viewers, and we have obviously I think second on our list is always Canada. So we have a lot of Canadian viewers and the Canadian listeners to the audio podcast. So welcome. Thank you, Canadian listeners and viewers tonight. And we appreciate your comments. Email us geocachetalk@gmail.com, and we'll get to them in future shows.
I'll jump in so we can have our guests finish off tonight.
Sounds good.
I've never seen Jeff in Canada, but I've seen Jay in Canada.
Right.
I saw Jeff at my dad's house. I think last time we were there.
That was good. That was a good week.
That was a fun week. Yeah. And Jay showed up at one of the events. We hosted an event. We were going to Canada. Oh my gosh. I should have looked that up. I don't remember how many years ago that was.
Long time ago.
It's been a long time.
I think you guys, you might have been looking for universities.
Oh my gosh. And that was with my oldest daughter, and she's graduating law school now. So it's been a while, right? Oh my gosh. That would have been almost 8, 9, 10 years ago.
Feels
Something like
it.
that. That's crazy.
But
I know it's a stereotype, but every time I've been to Canada, especially met cachers in Canada and stuff, they've all been so nice. That's the one thing I'll say. Obviously, there's the Canadian Rockies and it's beautiful up there, and I'm going to talk about that. But people were super nice that we came across, just very friendly. Outside of maybe
Canadian manners.
Yeah. Outside of Hawaii, it's probably the friendliest cachers I've found away from home before. So
very cool.
It's hard to beat Hawaii. Those jokers were so friendly. We're just hanging out all day and stuff. But Canada was awesome too. So it's hard to realize. I mean, a lot of people don't travel, but Canada's so close. It's like Mexico. Everybody goes to Mexico, and I just assume everybody travels because everybody I know and friends of mine all travel because we're all in this game, right?
Right.
But, it's shocking to me the people that have never traveled. I mean, we're right next to each other, and
Yep.
Now, granted, you could live in the USA forever and travel just in the US and be fine, but I mean, just
you're missing
a little further north, a little further south, and I would. I've only been to 2. I'm terrible. I've only been to 2 provinces, but I'm gonna get them all eventually. I just gotta. It's gonna be some planning. So
I want to go to all of them.
I can't wait to get up there some more. I've enjoyed it every time I've been up there, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Which one of y'all wants to go first?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, sure. I've just got I'll run through the few last point form things
go
that
for
I
it,
think
buddy.
are nice to highlight.
Go for it.
We've got Trans-Canada Highway Adventure Lab series. So that follows the, it's like the Lincoln Highway Adventure Lab series.
Yeah.
It travels Trans-Canada Highway and all its variations from the East Coast to the West Coast. Now it's covered with adventure labs, and there's bonus caches to go with them, with a lot of them as well. So that's something you can do if you want to do a big road trip. East Coast is GCBBA, Geocache in Nova Scotia. It's the oldest in Canada. That's one you'd want to get.
Yeah,
and the East Coast Maritime is beautiful. At the ocean, lots of really great nature there to earth caches. We've got the equivalent, Canada's equivalent to the California Fizzy, the one where you've got to find caches to complete a fizzy before the published date. This one is tequila's 81 proof, and that one's April 8th, I believe, 2008. And it's a little later, so it's a tad easier than California's, but it's still ridiculously difficult.
Right.
And so that's another one to aim for. And that's anywhere. Just complete your fizzy before that date.
Right.
If you're in Ontario, I mentioned the Canadian Shield, that whole geological thing that covers like central and east Canada. We've got the Bruce Peninsula. And you don't have to go all the way around the Great Lakes to get to it. It's like the Michigan thumb, but it's Ontario's one of arrow points of Ontario. And you just can go up onto the Bruce Peninsula, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Lots of nature. You've got a road that goes straight up the middle up to Tobermory, which is at the tip of the little thumb. But beautiful place, fantastic. I have an earth cache at the tip, and it's at a place where there's cliff, and there's like the geological nature of the Georgian Bay, and all the water kind of meets at this one point, and you just have crystal clear, cool water. Everybody loves cliff diving into there. It's just it's a beautiful, fantastic place, easy to get to if you cross the border. And then coming up, mentioned it before, we got Fall Fest coming up in Southern Ontario this weekend. This week. So if you want to come over, if you want to do that Canadian caching right now, here's a good opportunity. Hop over the border into Ontario and come join and participate with Fall Fest, GCA X1X1, and lots and lots of stuff happening. They've got link to the website on the listing, so that's something that you can look forward to. Last thing, if you're in Canada, Canadian Tire doesn't just sell tires. It's Walmart 2.0.
Oh, wow.
Look for Canadian Tire if you need almost anything. They even have a little bit of food, I think, but more snacky kind of food. But everything from tires to home and tools and equipment and kitchen, like anything you can think of that would be practically useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Canadian stores are often named Canadian names.
Nice. Well, Jay, you get to kind of wrap things up tonight, my friend.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you're planning on coming out to join us here in British Columbia, we would love to have you come and visit. We're Canadians, we're a little bit different than our neighbors down south, but we're a lot the same. So there's a lot of we all generally speak the same language, except for maybe Quebec and New Brunswick and parts of Newfoundland. but it's a beautiful country no matter where you get to come visit. If you are planning to come out to BC, we really love our hikes, our 4x4s, our backcountry exploring. So big thumbs up from
the Challenge Bear. The Challenge Bear.
Jesse's in the
and the Challenge Bear for sure. And we've got some great experiences. But the one thing I would say is do your planning to come out here in BC and do your caching. We've got a lot of folks who volunteer in our search and rescue teams, and I don't want any of you to meet them. So it's rough country out here once you get outside of the city, and it's really fast to get outside of the cities. So we just, I always try and be a heads up for people that this is an amazing, beautiful place. We'd love to have you. The other thing I'm going to throw out as a suggestion is if you are planning to come up and you want to host an event, reach out to a local first. Say, hey, I want to have an event in, city XYZ. That looks like that's maybe where you cache. Can you suggest a good place for it? Because there's been a number of times we've had folks come up to the Metro Vancouver area and host an event in what looked like a great park. Wasn't a great place to host an event. So check with the locals. We're all super friendly. We'd love to have you come and visit.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you guys again so much. And we look forward to doing this again someday. Well, we just cut the tip of the iceberg on Canada, but very cool.
Talking about, I think Canada's bigger than the US. You're talking about caching in a huge country.
And as we said earlier, a lot of it is not cities.
Wow.
Long stretches.
I was going to say, but most of it's empty. So
we definitely want someday we'll talk about some of the most wildest caches that are out in Canada, because there's got to be some.
I'm sure there's some extreme ones out there in the provinces or whatever, or in the territories.
Yeah. All right. Good deal. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Good night. Thanks for having us.
May your finds be many, and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.